So today we dive into the world of electric motorcycles. And before we even begin, I'm not here to tell you that electric motorcycles are the future, because that's an argument that has the potential to rage on for days. So pardon the pun, but we're just here to share the positives and negatives of Zero's new range of electric motorcycles, starting with their purpose-built adventure bike, the DSRX. And after this, we'll be testing the SRF, followed by the SRS, but let's not get ahead of ourselves, because firstly, it's all about the off-road electric-powered DSRX, which after just a few days testing is a lot of fun to ride. First of all, you have to get used to the lack of sound, as it's virtually silent when you hit the throttle. And as you can see, much different experience because there's just no sound, and all you hear is just that electric motor whizzing up. If you haven't ridden an electric motorcycle before. But of course, with the added benefit of this being a emission-free operation, you'll be doing your bit for the environment while also keeping all those greenies happy. But always bear in mind that drivers and other road users, just like you, can't hear the motorcycle, which does make lane filtering a little more challenging. What you will also discover quickly though, is the seamless acceleration from the gearless direct drive powertrain, especially the DSRX, which sits at the top of the Zero Dual Sport model lineup. It's hard to explain the difference in acceleration if you haven't ridden an electric motorcycle before, and this is made even smoother with the belt drive setup. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, if you haven't ridden an electric motorcycle before, then it's quite comfortable. It's an upright riding position. This screen is really handy, easily adjustable with the turn knobs on the side, and I'm not too sure whether you can hear it, but it does decrease the wind buffeting by, it's quite significant. Bear in mind, you pull up a set of lights and it feels a bit weird because you're sitting on the bike and there's absolutely no sound, no vibration, nothing coming from the motorcycle whatsoever. You can hear people on their phones in the cars next to you. You can hear what music they're listening to. That is something that you've got to get used to. It's quite different. With their largest capacity battery, the Z-Force 17.3 kilowatt lithium ion battery, powering Zero's latest Z-Force 75 10X direct drive motor, great Scott, 17.3 kilowatts, that's almost enough to power the flux capacitor. Okay, maybe not, but it's definitely churning out some serious power with an impressive 169 foot-pounds of torque, or for us down under, that's 229 newton meters, pumping out 100 horsepower, 75 kilowatts at 3,500 RPM with a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour. And you can expect about a range of 280 kilometers. And by combining Bosch's Motorcycle Stability Control, MSC system, which is the first ever electric motorcycle to feature this system, with Zero's Cypher 3 Plus, the off-road MSC delivers dynamic acceleration, improved stability and complete control no matter what terrain you're riding through. This advanced technology also ensures the best-in-class ABS, cornering brake control, traction control and drag torque control, all in an effort to not only maximise the rider's safety but also enhance the riding experience. Another great feature is the vehicle hold braking, which is simply engaged by fully clamping the brake lever and then releasing it, which prevents the motorcycle from rolling when stopped, which is especially handy if you find yourself on either an incline or a decline. And the shower suspension, which features the inverted telescopic fork at the front, along with the monoshock at the rear, are all fully adjustable for preload, compression and rebound damping. It did feel comfortable most of the time, but once you do take it off-road, it does bottom out a little in some sections, but nothing untoward, and it'll handle all off-road terrain. You will need the tool to adjust the fork spring preload, but the rear shock is easily adjustable via the dial, allowing you to make quick changes on the go. The DSRX also features various riding modes, which alter the top speed, the torque, and both braking and neutral battery regeneration, which obviously the battery regeneration is different in different modes, not as much in sport mode, but in eco and standard, you're going to get a lot more battery regeneration. Now these ride modes include standard, eco, rain, sport and canyon. And the Bosch off-road MSC can also be applied to any of these ride modes, which enhances control in low traction conditions. And the braking system, which features dual 320mm discs at the front, accompanied with a 265mm disc at the rear, will pull the big girl up with ease, especially the front, which has a nice progressive feel through the lever. Tipping the scales at 247 kilos isn't too bad, especially considering when you've got that big battery in the center of the bike. But it's very comfortable to ride and quite agile once you're up and going. When it comes to the styling and ergonomics, the DSRX is definitely a purpose-built off-road motorcycle with its high ground clearance, upright riding position and sleek design. Having said that, it's not an enduro bike, so don't try and take on the Dakar Rally, but you will still have a lot of fun if you head bush. There are some great accessories available too, if you want to take it even further, with a skid plate, a windscreen, saddlebags, a top case, frame guards, aggressive style foot pegs, chain kit, extended battery and much more. Now this is only the second electric motorcycle I've tested, with the first being the Livewire a couple of years back now. And one of the biggest problems I encountered back then was the lack of charging infrastructure, especially while I was living down the south coast of New South Wales. This of course is much better now, as the world has slowly but surely accepted the concept of electric vehicles, and now public EV charging systems across the country are growing at a huge rate. And trust me, you'll find some charging stations in the places you least expect. Of course, it also comes with a charger to use for your home's power supply, which will charge overnight. And it is advisable to do that at least every 3 or 4 charges. And then apps like PlugShare, ChargePoint and EV Connect also help with locating Zero compatible level 2 chargers. And through Zero's partnership with Backcountry Discovery Routes, the charging infrastructure information has been integrated into BDR's maps, enabling some iconic adventures to be had on the new DSRX. It also features one of the most advanced motorcycle operating systems with the Cypher 3 Plus, which enables faster charging, increased battery capacity, along with parking mode. And that's a great little handy feature which allows you to move the bike forward and back at low speeds. Perfect for getting in and out of tight spots. So just to give you a quick run through, so you walk up to the bike, she's completely off. As I said, you can switch it on, and you've got the option of parking mode. So what we do there is we switch it in parking mode, and then what that does, so you've got reverse, just at slow speed, and then press the cruise control button, and then in she goes to forward. And just, as I said, just slow if you want to move it around, it keeps it really under control. Then to take it out of parking mode, just flick the power, the on switch on and off, and she goes back into sport. And the DSRX includes every available Cypher 3 feature as standard, which allows you to get the very most out of your new electric ride. All I can say is that before you form any opinions, why not take one for a test ride? Because just like me, you'll be pleasantly surprised, especially seeing how far electric vehicles have progressed over the last couple of years, including motorcycles. Get on down to your local authorised Zero motorcycle dealer and take one for a zip.